Well, you told a story of a man. There's two things I want to ask you. You first off told a story about a person that was about to die, and you recommended that person to do ayahuasca. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that person was able to heal him or herself by doing ayahuasca. And also, you also told a story of a man who was smoking DMT every single day or something like that. Could you elaborate on those two stories, and could you share those stories one more time? Those two stories.
So I was referring to a lady who had come. So me and this lady named Carrie Ellis were on this tour in 2015, and we had met this lady who had come to a couple of our workshops and had done some energy session with me, and she had breast cancer, and she was looking to like heal herself from breast cancer, and we had sent her. We have some ayahuasca practitioners in Peru,
Mm-hmm.
and, and we had sent her out there, and she went there for 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
and did like a couple rounds with them in the jungle and came out, and then she was healed from her breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that can be done through ayahuasca. I don't recommend people do ayahuasca unless they're dying, and it can be a deep work, and you can create healing from it for sure.
Okay, okay. Also,
Um,
the other story of a man who was smoking DMT every single day for years. Something. Could you share that story as well?
right. So this was an individual that I knew for a few years. It actually came from a reference from my nephew who lived with this guy, and he was extracting his own DMT, right, from like the roots, and he was smoking it, and he had smoked it every day. And I had kind of encountered him about 3 years in to all that, and he had stopped smoking when I had met him, but he was still like dealing with like major repercussions from his smoking. And so that I was like guiding him through like helping him to balance out and like come to sense with all the entities he was seeing and all the energies he was feeling, and like, the blue pill and red pill and the polarizations that he was like witnessing. um and so yeah, that was kind of what I was talking about, was this
Right,
character.
right, right. So, but you were able to get this person out of this crazy state that he was in because.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
also,
yeah,
what made this person want to smoke DMT so much? Is it to raise his consciousness? What was his
nah,
motive?
it was party excuse me, it was party shit. Like, they were all those guys were like selling like Molly, and they were throwing raves.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my nephew. I used to throw big raves back in the day when in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
um and so this was like all this similar kind of rave energy. And so he was just like caught up, and once you start smoking the DMT and start getting these experiences, then he was chasing the high or chasing the experience. He like couldn't get away from that, and he just continued to facilitate that, to want to like be in that
Mm-hmm.
space. That just
Interesting.
kind of blew him open. So when I had met up with him, I was just teaching him how to like basically close that. So you have like a back door, we call it back door, and we have a front door. The front door is meditation. The back door is like, psychedelics, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
LSD, DMT, mushrooms, whatever it might be in high doses. It's going to blow your back door open. It's not going to allow you to create any control over what's coming in your conscious fields from the outer
Mm-hmm.
fields. And so you don't want to really do that. You want to go through the front door, which
Mm-hmm.
gives you more control over your own consciousness. And
Mm-hmm.
so people that blow the back door open, you have to really like learn about grounding and about containing, because there's a lot of, even what you would call, um, I don't know, it's like psychosis, really, and
Mm-hmm.
there can be some, schizophrenic stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Right,
So,
right.
and so you have to really manage that, because a lot of times people don't realize, like, especially when they first start learning how to get out of their bodies and they start getting into the astral
Mm-hmm.
spaces, and they start having experience in astral spaces with other beings.
Mm-hmm.
So and these beings are all coming from you. You have to remember that nothing's outside of you. You're in your own consciousness, in your own container. Any projection that's coming from oneself in the construct, it's actually you. All your dreams and all your astral projections, anything that you're seeing, any entities that you might perceive or see, they're
Mm-hmm.
all actually coming from you. And these are things that you have to balance within oneself. But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when you're in these alter states and you start seeing these things, you create more contingencies and more issues with your fear, and then create more fear and more paranoia, and there's this whole thing that can like
Mm-hmm.
unfold. So it's just from being like unstable and aware of what's going on. And so I always tell people, be mindful. And if you want to smoke DMT and do any of that, make sure you do it outside and on a big, nice hill on a warm, sunny day, and have your feels on that. But I really don't, if people want to like activate and like do what I do, like I didn't do any of that. Like I didn't do any drugs. Like I wasn't doing any drugs. I definitely wasn't fucking smoking pot. Do not smoke pot when you meditate. Do not smoke weed if you want to meditate. It's the worst thing you can do because it will make a crutch for it. Because weed will help you connect more when you meditate. And if you smoke it and you're high when you try to meditate, it will be a crutch for you. And you have to make sure that you want to be sovereign. Like if you're going to be a dope ass energy practitioner, that's no substance. You got to be like sovereign. Like you got to be able to connect on nothing. You got to be able to like lay down and vibrate your field, spin your Merkaba field, pop out of your body, go look at something,
Mm-hmm.
bring some energy in. Like you got to do that all sober. You can't be like, oh man, I got to have my joint or I can't connect. So
Right.
be mindful of that. I know a lot of people out there smoke weed and like to smoke pot. I smoke pot too, but I do not smoke weed if I'm going to meditate or connect, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to create a crutch. So it's really important, guys, that you learn to like make your own connection without using her as a crutch, because she will gladly help you connect. I mean, it's something that I have used with students, as well as like microdosing mushrooms for people that were having a hard time connecting to elemental energy. You can use, someone that's never smoked pot before and never used mushrooms before. You
Mm-hmm.
can give them very small doses, and
Mm-hmm.
this will allow them to connect in to elemental energy and give them that connection. But other than that, it should not be used in connecting with energy or meditating.
Mm, interesting, fascinating. Okay, okay. So Ken, what is your goal at the moment? Like, do you want to be able to provide for yourself, being an energy teacher once again? Is that what you want to do for the rest of your life? Also, like, do you like telling me last time when I did the interview with Tanuj, you were saying that you want to like you want to get to the point where you want to bring peace kinesis, call it that. I mean, you're saying like, if you are in a negative environment, you want to be able to, make everybody in that environment happy and stuff like you were saying, something along those lines. Your ultimate goal, peace kinesis, whatever you want to call that. And also, yeah, what is your goal with teaching?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it peace, Kenny. I don't like the word peace, because if you look at Alamanchi, peace means to like separate, but it's all about unity and neutrality.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if anyone's on this like journey of being an energy practitioner, it's all about being a neutral being and creating harmony in the reality. As far as like my long-term goals, is I'm just here to have like fun and enjoy my life, like really. And as far as like teachings, I'm gonna write a couple books. I'm gonna put out some teachings. I'm still gonna do intensive and workshops. As far as like, what's gonna um, give me money or whatever, like all of the things. I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple businesses. Like, I make money in whatever I touch, turns to gold. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's why people always want me a part of their schools or part of their businesses, because like whatever I do, like I get money. Like money just comes to me. Like,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
so I'm always just gonna be doing me and like living life. And, you know, I have 2 children and I'm here like supporting my kids and raising my kids and teaching them. And, you know, I'm just focused on my children right now and like doing that. And then, you know, once my kids are old, like I'm just gonna be like free diving and sailing, you know, the world. Like you know, like you know, you can get my courses online, but you can catch me in the ocean. Like you know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm just gonna be
okay,
living life. Like I don't have
okay.
really any goals of like anything that I'm doing. You know what I
Cool.
mean?
Okay. Okay. Well, I
And that's
wasn't
like what
sure.
everyone
I
just needs
wasn't
to be doing.
sure. Well, I wasn't sure if you wanted to, start an energy school with like, and gain millions of followers and stuff. And some people have those kind of aspirations. Well, I think it's a good thing to have those, good big goals and whatnot. So
Oh,
that's what
well,
I'm.
yeah, I'm starting an energy school. I already had the dream. Like we're starting a school. We're buying property on Lake Michigan. We're gonna build a school. It's gonna be about 40 acres. It's gonna be about 10,000 square foot building. You're gonna be able to come there and train for 2 years. This will be a 2-year course, and you'll live right there on the property. All that stuff will happen, and that's all part of like the bigger plan. Like you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm holding multiple businesses right now. And like, you know, I'm always doing stuff to like be on like the front lines and on the fringe of what you call metaphysics or spirituality. So like, you know, I'm always doing it. So you got to keep track. You got to stay up with me because you want to be part of what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm doing big shit like everywhere. Like that's just going to be the way it is. So, yeah. I mean, there's lots of stuff going on, man. And it's all going to be about human development, metaphysics, spirituality, you know, the paranormal. Like it's going to be, you know, the school of all schools in the next 10 years. So look out for that. But yeah, there's lots of stuff going on, man. There's like
What are you
there's
going to call your school,
I
by
have
the way?
so
Do you
much
have a?
going on. I'm like writing 2 TV series right now. I'm writing like a movie. I'm writing a book. Like, you know, it's just like so much going
Right.
on.
Right. Do you have a name in mind for your school or courses? Um, is that?
No, no, I don't have any name in mind for it. So it was a vision I had about 5 years ago, this school. And I knew it was going to be a physical location, but I have no name. I feel like I already have like 2 or 3 women that I've been working with, that I do like intensive workshops with,
Mhm.
and they're going to be part of the school.
Nice.
And I'm kind of leaving it up to them, like as we
Oh,
get
okay, okay.
the feminine energy and allowing them to really create what they want to create. Because as masculine energies, we need to really create the foundation, the support to hold the feminine as they like
Oh,
grow,
okay, okay. Okay,
because as
interesting.
we transition from the parasitic masculine back into neutrality, you know, as this
Oh,
feminine energy comes in, we have to be the support and we have to hold space for, because the
oh,
feminine is what's going to bring all this in, man. Anybody that's doing what I'm doing is just on like the forefront. It's all feminine energy, and we're just like, you know, catalysts for that. It's
right,
like
right.
our honor to even be that, because what's coming in.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, before I let you go, like, could you explain that a little bit more? Like, so women. So I remember you saying something like you didn't really want to deal with male energy practitioners for a while and stuff like that. So you are really particular about who you teach. That you ideally want to mostly teach women. Am I correct on that, or?
No, I when I was teaching a lot of people and I was doing these big conferences, right? And then I took on a couple male apprentices and I took on a couple female apprentices, and taking on those Padawans, like, you know, I got to really see, you know, the aspects of the male energy that was really out of balance, and how the female energy was like more in balance. And so I had
Interesting.
been guided that the male energy needed to go through an extra step
Mm.
before they decided to dive into this type of energy work. So this type of energy connection,
Interesting.
right? And
Right,
so
right.
so I stopped teaching males for a while, and I actually went to teaching children.
Oh, wow, interesting. Okay.
So for 2 years, I taught what was called a wizardry school, and it was a day camp for kids that lasted 3 days, and I did it every summer for 2 years. And
Oh, wow.
it was on the east side of Michigan, and these were kids from all over the world that were flown in that already had like special abilities. They could already move things with their mind. They were already
Wow.
very psychic. They were already doing very paranormal things, and their parents were concerned and wanted some extra development. So
Wow.
I worked
Interesting.
with some people in Detroit, and we set up this like wizardry school. And so I was the telekinetic and psychokinetic and psychic teacher of
Does that
that
place
wizardry
still
school.
exist? Like that sounds like a real Jedi Academy, like a real X-Men type academy. Like,
Right.
like does that place still exist, or is it pretty unknown?
There was no place. It was just something that we were teaching a couple
Oh,
summers.
okay,
And
okay.
this is what I'm developing for the energy school, is that, we're looking to teach the young children and the young adults, like, the teenagers, the kids from like 7 to 17, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Like,
right.
and this
So it
is really
really is like
what,
Star Wars then. Like I mean,
and
because
this is, yeah, yeah, and this is really what I've been focusing on as I look to, because it was young men when I got involved in those two schools when I first turned on. It was a lot of young men and a lot of like, fucked up shit. And so then I was like, okay. And then I was teaching more young men, then a lot of young women. And then I'm like, all right, we got to split this down. Then it was like I'm teaching kids, then I'm teaching more women, and then other older men. And so I kind of like had to broad it all in and say, okay, like there needs to be, for younger men who are still out of balance, they have to go through an extra step to like develop into this. And it's really about the children, though. It's really about these kids that have these abilities already. They're already coming
right,
in with abilities. Like that's why us that have been here for a while doing it, our job is to teach these children that are coming in already. They're already hooked up, man.
right,
They
right,
already
right.
know.
So they're gonna really be able to do some real Jedi stuff then.
Yeah, yeah. That's my goal. My goal is like is
Wow, that is phenomenal. No, no,
teaching,
I'm glad I did
teaching
this
the
interview.
kids that
That's
are
wow.
coming in.
That is phenomenal. So you want to really you are developing like real Jedi's.
Well,
Wow, that is well like
I
real
already have
and real Jedi. Wow.
I already have 2 or 3 apprentices right now that are like 11, 12, and 14.
Wow, that is
So
incredible. Okay, okay.
so like these kids these kids are going to be floating things in their hands. Like
Wow.
they're already
Wow.
like this
Wow.
stuff. Once this stuff comes out in the next 2 or 3 years, man, like this is where it's at. Like these kids, I still have some. I was actually going through my video footage last night of the last Jedi camp I did, which was
Mhm,
just this, not this summer, because I haven't been teaching for 2 years, but it was the
mhm,
summer before.
mhm.
And these girls, man, they were spooky. These spooky these girls, man, and they were moving this shit, and they were so like disconnected from the fact that they could move things with their mind. It was really weird. Like, they were like almost upset that they could do that, and I was trying to
Wow.
like help them and teach
Fascinating.
them, but they already were way advanced, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay. Okay. That
And
is
I
powerful.
was guiding them and teaching them like how to like hone their energy, but they were almost like pissy that they had this ability. It was interesting.
Wow. That is incredible. Wow. This Ken, yeah, like it's yeah. So I set out to do these interview series because I get to talk to, obviously very high level people. I get to learn from them. I get to know them personally and stuff like that. Um, but, and it's just like, every time it seems like the layer just keeps going up and up and up. I keep, yeah, learning more crazier stuff. And yeah, then you definitely, because you didn't even tell me about what you were doing with kids, in the last interview. So
Right.
wow. Just,
Yeah, nobody really knows that I teach kids this stuff. And I always tell people, like, people don't even know that I have kids because I don't talk about my children. I like that's like
oh,
they're
how
like
are your kids? Are your kids pretty good at aerokinesis and stuff like that, or?
yeah, my daughter is like incredibly psychic, and my son, yeah, they're both. But
Wow.
I have an ex-wife that's like totally against that, and I've had this whole battle in court, like to even be able to see my kids because of what I do. Like they brought my YouTube channel up in court to take my
Really? Wow.
yeah
What was that? What did they think? Did they think you're like a crazy person, or what? What?
yeah. She calls
What
me
was their
she calls
reaction?
me the healer. She called in court. They were like, he professes that he can heal people,
Well, no,
and
but but in court, like when they're showing you your like incredible, because
they're showing my videos. They're showing my videos on the
aerokinesis.
TV screen in court, man.
Right. But what did the judges say? So what was their response? What was their reaction? Like, what the heck is this guy?
Yeah, I'm crazy. Have you seen a psychologist? Like, I'm not. Are you okay? Is this real? Like no. Yeah, dude. I have fought so much to like even be able to. The fact that I can see my kids based upon what I actually do in the reality is like amazing because I had to fight like major, and I'm always in battles. Like I just was in court like 6 months ago, and now through all this pandemic and all this bullshit, like I haven't seen my kids for 32 days. My ex-wife is keeping them under quarantine, and I can't see my children.
Wow.
Or, based upon my court visits.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a whole nother thing. But you just got to be neutral in all that. This is
Right.
all you have to remember that whatever's going on with your kids, and if you can't right now, if you're on the line and you aren't being able to see your kids, or you got the shit going on, use this as whatever's triggering you to dive deep and look at these internal things that are going on in your life. Like, I've had this shit come up and up for me, and I continue to have to become more neutral and neutral with it and being just, with yourself and your emotions because there's nothing you can do and there's no reason to fight what's happening. So it's just
Right.
being present with it. So,
Right. Okay. Well, awesome, Ken. Well, thank you so much for this interview. I mean, like I learned so much. I mean, I feel like every time I talk to you, I learn so much and stuff like that. And you have a tremendous amount of wisdom. So I really do hope that you can really change the world by by raising these X-Men Jedi kind of kids and really make an impact on the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing you being successful with your endeavors. So.
yeah. The kids are where it's at, man. Like, if you have a child right now who's like driving you crazy and they got like this like sixth sense and they know what's going on and they know what's happening, contact me and like we'll get them some training and we'll hone them in because like these kids are coming online like you having children, you're bringing in these next wave souls who have the abilities that I have purely naturally. So all the abilities, because I'm fully connected and fully turned on, so I have all these paranormal abilities. All the kids have these already. They have them without even activating. They're already ready. And no matter even the programming that's been going on isn't cut it off. They're like ready to go. So if you have children that you can't deal with and you don't know what to do, connect with someone like me who's teaching the kids and I can help, teach your child like how to hone their ability, how to create more balance and wholeness and like calmness so they're not like a mess and they're not like hyperactive, freaking out, and all of these things that can happen when you have an extra sensitive child.
Cool. Okay. Well, like I said, once again, thank you, Ken, for this interview. I mean, you're phenomenal, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to maybe in the future or something, train with you or something like that. I'll definitely join your courses as well in the summer. So
Well, come out. I'm doing a training in August of this year. It'll be like I think it's going to be like the 15th on a weekend. I'll have it posted, but it's going to be like $1,000 or like $1,200 a person.
Okay,
It'll be like
cool,
4
cool.
days. It'll be on Lake Michigan, all inclusive. Like
Definitely.
it'll
We'll
it'll
love,
be the spot.
we'll love to do that. I think, oh, yeah, I think Tanuj, Max, and, yeah, I will definitely go check that out. So.